Okay, so in our last class we finished one C programming using our for loop. So today we start another C programming. Okay, so write the first question. We have to write calculate sum of first 5 numbers. We have to calculate sum of first 5 numbers. That means what? 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 equals to what? This is our question. What is the answer of this one? So for this we write our program, C program. So first we start our program. stdio.s header file, then include another header file is conio.s and all other small letters. Here I write all other small letters. So next here I write the main function of my C program, void main. Next here I start my program and I use one variable I and another variable sum. So in the starting sum value equals to 0. So because I use a sum variable that calculate 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, all the numbers are we have to add here. So for this we use another variable sum. So next is my CLR function. This is used to clear the screen. Next I write for I equals to 1 because I starting from this one. Then semicolon, then I less than equals to 5 because my condition is we finish the condition near the 5. I plus plus, so here the value is I is 1, then 2 increment, the values are increment. So here I use I plus plus. Next I calculate sum equals to sum plus I. Then my addition is finished here. Next here I use the printf. Sum of first 5 numbers equals to %d, then there is a double quote, then whose variable value is displayed here %d, the value of the sum is displayed here. Next is my program is finished. So next I write get ch and I finish my program. This void main function is finished here. So now the same program we now execute in our computer. Okay. So look, this is my program that calculate the sum of first 5 numbers. Okay. So now this one I save using the F2. Look, here is the F2 in my laptop. Here is the F2. Okay, next is I compile this program. Compile and look here the error is 0. Next is after compilation I execute my program, run my program, then run. So sum of first 5 numbers equals to what? 15. So how the value is 15 here? So now we check how the value is 15 here. Okay. So first we use our condition here I equals to 1. So look, now I check here I equals to 1. So first is my I equals to 1. Next condition is 1 less than equals to 5. Yes, condition is satisfied. So if condition is satisfied, the sum is, what is the value of sum before? The sum of the value is 0. So 0 and plus, then what is the value of I? The value of I is 1 here. 1 equals to 1. So the first sum is 1, this one. This value is now calculated. The first value of the sum is 1. So this is calculate for I equals to 1. Next we calculate for I equals to 2. Now I equals to 2. 2 is less than equals to 5. Yes, the condition is satisfied. Next sum equals to sum. Now what is the value of sum? 1 plus what is the value of I? 2 equals to 3. So this is for I equals to 2. Next we check I equals to 3 because I 3 equals to 6. Next I check I equals to 4. So for I equals to 4, I equals to 4. Then 4 less than equals to 5. Yes, condition is satisfied. So SHOM equals to the SHOM. What is the value of SHOM now? 4, 6. 6 plus what is the value of I now? 4 equals to 10. So next I check the condition I equals to 5. So when I equals to 5, 5 is less than equals to 5. Yes, this one is satisfied. Next is SHOM equals to, what is the value of SHOM is here? 10 plus what is the value of 5 equals to 15. So now this one is our result. So next when we check for I equals to 6. So what is my condition? 6 less than equals to 5. So this is false. So now this one is the final result. Now this one is the final result, 15. So what is the output now? The output is SHOM of first 5 numbers equals to 15. So in the output screen, what is display now? This line, SHOM of first 5 numbers equals to 15. So in your output screen, what is display? SHOM of first 5 numbers equals to 15. Because at the end of our execution, at the end of our for loop, what is the value of SHOM? Now the SHOM is 15. So now this line is our output of this program. Okay. So now our for loop is finished. So next one is nested for loop. Nested for loop. So nested for loop means when in one program we use more than one loops. This is our nested for loop. So what we write for the nested for loop? In nested for loop, body of the loop. This is the nested for loop. So what is the syntax? First we write here one for loop, then inside the for loop here we use the initialization, condition, increment, decrement. So this is my starting and ending of for loop. So inside this is the body of the loop. This is the body of the loop. So here if I use another for loop, then this is the inside the for loop here I use, and inside this for loop if I use another for loop. So this type of for loop is called our nested for loop. So now we write one program using the nested for loop. So now write a program. So s equals to 1 plus 1 plus 2. The same is continue for the n number of times. Okay, so we have to calculate one variable for the SHOM of these two numbers. Two variables I use. So one is my I for the one loop, next for the another loop I use j, and the n another variable means the value of the n here. What is the value of n that I use here? What is the value of n? Next is another variable I use SHOM for calculating SHOM of all these numbers. Next I use another variable t that is used to SHOM the first group. Then t store the value of second group. Then this t store the value of third group. Then t store the value of fourth group, like this. So for this we use another variable here. Next is at the starting I use the SHOM value equals to 0 because in the starting there is no value of the SHOM. So here I use n equals to n, then I plus plus. Now my for loop. Then the another for loop I start here. For j equals to 1, j less than equals to I, because here I am inside the I loop. So here is the, what is the condition? J is less than equals to I. Then j plus plus to the SHOM value here. So now my this for loop is finished here, and look, this for loop is finished here. Okay, so my work is now finished here. Next I write here the printf. Here we write the SHOM. then my printf is finished. Main program here. Okay, I finished the word main program here. So now we check the compilation process. So here is 0, the compilation is 0. So now I run my program. So what is the output of this? Enter the n. So if here I enter the value of n is 3, here I enter the value of n is 3. So what is the output is now? I enter the value of n. So what is the value of n? And the n value is 3. So next is our condition is what? I equals to 1, I less than equals to 3. Okay, so now the same one we use in our condition. So now come to here, I write how the steps are working inside our CPU. So first is I equals to 1. Okay, I less than equals to 3. Yes, condition is satisfied. Condition satisfied means we come to the next line, t equals to 0. Then inside this there is another for loop. So another for loop is j equals to 1 and j less than equals to I. What is the value of I? The value of I equals to 1. So 1 is less than equals to 1. So condition is satisfied. Satisfied means now t equals to t plus j. So 0 plus j equals to 0 plus 1 equals to 1. So this is my value of the first one. So now next I check for this one. Next I check here 2 because the j value is incremented. So when I check 2 less than equals to 1, this one is false. So now I am going to the outside of this loop here. This is the outside of this loop. Now this line is executed. So what is this line? Sum equals to, what is the value of sum? Look here, 0. So sum is 0 plus what is the value of t? 1. So what is the value of first sum? 1. Okay. So next is our this for loop is finished here. Next is for I equals to 2. The same thing we are checking for I equals to 2. Okay, so look here, come to this one, I equals to 2. Now the value of I equals to 2. Then 2 is less than equals to 3. Okay, so now t equals to what? What is the value of t now? What is the value of t now? Now the value of t equals to 1. Next we use the for loop. Another for loop. So for j equals to, now the j is also equals to 2. Okay, so j is 2 and 2 is less than equals to 3. Yes, the condition is satisfied. So next is t equals to t plus j. So 1 plus what is the value of j? What is the value of t and j? 1 plus 2. So 1 plus 2 equals to 3. Okay, so next is sum. Sum equals to, look here, sum plus t. So what is the value of sum now? What is the value of sum now? 1. 1 plus what is the value of t now? 3 equals to, now this one is 4. So what is the value of this one? The series 1 plus 1 plus 2. So now what is the value of this series? This one is 4. We calculated here. Next we check for I equals to 3 and j equals to 3. Okay, so same one we continue now. For I equals to 3 and j equals to 3. Okay, so look here how this one is continues. So when I equals to 3, 3 is less than equals to 3, condition is satisfied. So now t equals to 3. Okay, next I use another for loop. J equals to 3 and 3 is less than equals to 3 because now my I value is 3 here. Okay, so next is t equals to 3 plus 3. Before this, the value of t equals to 3 and the value of j equals to 3. So 3 plus 3 equals to what? 6. So now sum equals to, what is the value of sum here? Look, what is the value of sum here? 4. Okay, so now here I write sum equals to 4 plus, what is the value of t? 6 equals to 10. So now this is our output that we display in our screen. This is the output my program. Okay, so understood? So thank you. In our next class we are starting another part of our C programming. Okay.